G'day, how you doing? Adam here from Poseidon Racing with another video in this series, which of course is the ultimate beginner's guide to Zed Run. Woohoo! I hope you're enjoying it so far. Trying to give you all my knowledge so that you can successfully build your own successful stable. Too many successfuls in that sentence. Anyway, let's move on. Today we're talking about free racing. Now, free racing is a really important aspect of Zed Run in my opinion. It is my belief that your number one job as a Zed stable owner, horse owner, trainer is to make your horses look as good as possible and even better than they actually are, if that's possible. Okay, it's not really possible, but you can boost the stats by choosing the weaker paid races and even entering a few free races. Now, this is not deceptive in my opinion because there's many sites where you can do your research and divide the paid and the free races off into separate categories. It is just, as I said, our job as trainers to make our horses look as good as possible, and if we can't get the wins in paid racing, then it is often a good idea to try and get a few good results in the free racing. Now, it's also a legitimate part of an early race strategy, because if you have a horse that enters the Griffins with some so-so odds around $10 or $15, then you maybe not want to go straight into a paid $2.50 or $5 race and have it confirmed and essentially waste your money with, you know, $25, $35, $44 odds. So what a better strategy can be for those so-so horses is bring them out of that Griffin when they get, you know, $10, $20, $30 odds or even $40 odds. And then try a few different free races, like around short, you know, 1,000 to 1,200, mid around 1,600, and maybe a long one around 22, 24, 26, and see if there might be a couple of zones for your horse that is more suitable. And then once you build your confidence that your horse might be a long distance runner, for example, you can then switch back to those $2.50 paid races and see what you really have. Now, the hardest part of entering free races, you might know this already, is when do they show up and how do I get into them, because they just go like that so fast. So fast. They flash up and they're gone. Okay, and it can be really frustrating to try and enter a free race. So keep that in mind. You always want to have a good idea, one or two horses that you want to put in a free race, so that when it jumps up, click on a gate, a box number 1 to 12, and enter as quick as you can to try and get in there. But you will have times where you find it rather easy to get into free races, and then you will have frustrating times where you miss out on 4 or 5 in a row. I do have a little secret that will help you get into more free racing. Let's jump over to the Zed Run website and I'll show you that little secret. Okay, here we are. I'm in the top left corner. Maybe I'll come back here. There we go. Because then when I look at the screen, it looks like I'm looking at that screen. Well, you know, never mind. All right, so on the Zed Run homepage here, if we go to racing, you'll see events. And there's no free races currently except the Griffins, but we're not referring to the Griffins, we are referring to the Class 5, Class 4, Class 3, Class 2, Class 1 races. And you can see there's none of those currently in any class except Griffin. Oh, there's a stuck one in Class 1. So that's what they look like. That one's just stuck at the moment. Now, the little secret tip to get into more free races, actually there's 2 tips. One tip is free race late at night, USA time. That's the mid-afternoon here for Australia. So Australian Eastern Standard Time from about 4 p.m. till about 10 p.m. or 11 or even midnight. It's relatively easy to get into free races with not too much demand. That might mean you have to stay up to the early hours of the morning. If you've got a job to do the next day, that might not be the recommended practice, but it is a time when at this point free racing is a little bit more accessible. Maybe in the future I think Zed is going to have to limit each stable to say 5 free races a day. Do you know what I mean? Because that way then everyone gets a fair chance at putting their horses in the free races, rather than some stables entering, you know, 100 free races in a day. Just sit there, enter. or even, you know, if there is bots entering their horses. I don't know that there is bots, but there could be bots. If there is bots, they might be entering hundreds, even potentially thousands of free races a day, which is not cool, not fair. We will bring that point up with Zed at some stage. I'm sure they're already onto that. But the main tip of how to get into more free races is you have to click on next to run. Okay. And then when you get to next to run, there's no filter to filter the free races. That would be ideal, wouldn't it? Zed, can you put a filter to filter race class on the next to run page? That would be awesome. But as you look down this list, what you need to look for is the $2.50, $5 and $10 pot races, prize pool races. And you can see there's none here, 50, 27, none there. But if I scroll down, no, hello. Here's one here. So there's not, the next free race is a class 5, the next free race to run is a class 5 in nearly 19 minutes. So if I had a class 5 horse that I wanted to enter in a free race, I would set the stopwatch on my clock, on my phone, for 18 minutes, because when that race runs, and more importantly finishes, when all the horses cross the finish line, instantly, boom, that class 5 free race is regenerated onto the events page. Okay, onto the events page here. All right, so what you can do is if you've got a couple of hours and you're entering some races and watching races anyway, then, or you're just watching TV, you can just keep an eye on this next to run page. And as I said, there's one there. If we scroll down, there's probably one in another 10 minutes. There's one there. So we've got one at 18, 26. Scrolling down. Sometimes they come up more frequently than others, because obviously there is class 3, 2 and 1s as well. There's another class 4. I might have scooted over a class 5, did I? Oh, there's a class 5, both running very similar clocks there. And if I keep scrolling down, let's say you had a class 3 horse that you wanted to enter, you will find one of those. There's a class 2, $5. Okay, if you had a class 2, put in your phone an alarm for an hour and 10 minutes, and then watch that race as they cross the finish line. Be ready to jump the events page and get in as quick as you can. Just hit whatever number, hit enter, away you go. If it says failed, which it will do a lot of times, that means someone else has got into that gate before you. Quickly hit the refresh button, see what gates are left and try again. You will miss out on several. It is rather frustrating at the moment. I'm sure Zed will fix that. Let's go down, see if we can find any. Here we go. We've got, what's going on here? We've got races bouncing all over the shop. There's a class 3, $6. There's another class 2, $10 in an hour and 29 minutes. And there will be class 1s. A lot of the class 1s can take like 16 hours. There's a lot of races today. Can't see any class 1s at the moment, but they will be in here. Now, while we're talking about this, you can see the race times are stacked up today to about 4 or 5 hours, I think. There's a class 1 there. Okay, so if you have a class 1 horse that is not quite up for paid racing, but you still want to race it, you need to set your clock for that class 1 run time and then be ready to go. Be logged in, ready to go. All right. So you can see we are stacked out to, well, it's not too bad, 2 hours 48 minutes at the moment. This is only temporary. At the moment, Zed can only run so many races at a time in this system. They mentioned the other day on Doofy's YouTube that they are working on systems to run multiple races at the same time and try, hopefully, and get those race times from the moment the race fills to the starting time of the race. Hopefully they can get that down to, say, 15 minutes or something like that. That would be ideal. All right, that's it. So when you're entering free races, or if you're trying to enter free races, jump to the next to run page here and let's scan on down the prize pools looking for the $2.50, $5 and $10 races. There's a class 5 there. In 15 minutes, once that race finishes, boom, magically appear on the events page. Make yourself open 2 pages side by side, watch the race in one page, have the events page open in the other. As soon as it pops, click, boom, gate in. I hope that helps. Thanks again for watching along. If you love the content, I would love it if you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. We are a sports-based NFT games channel. If you love sports games, you're going to love our content. Hit the sub button. Thanks again. Bye for now.